I want to say I'm sorry Representative Stefanik left, because she asked you about reforming the federal work-study program, and I invite her and anyone here to sign on to the Opportunities for Success bill, which is a piece of legislation I introduced to do just that, including modernizing the funding, but also aligning work-study jobs with students' career interests and goals. So we know that as a nation we need to do more to make sure that all students can access and complete a college education. And we've had a lot of conversations here about TRIO and, of course, Gear Up and the programs that are especially helping to address barriers to completion and historically underserved students, first-generation students. Thank you, Mr. Ethelbaugh, for your story and your work. I want to point out a successful program in Northwest Oregon, Future Connect. It's a comprehensive support program that provides low-income first-generation students at Portland Community College with personalized academic advising, a college success coach, which is really the mentoring piece that's so important, access to internships, an intensive summer orientation program, and need-based scholarships. And it's really been a successful model there because obviously, even though Gear Up and TRIO are great programs, there's still a lot of unmet need. So that's something that we can look at as we're seeking to address these barriers. And I'm going to follow up on the question that Mr. Takano and Ms. Jayapal asked. I just read this report, Wisconsin Hope Center, highlighting the issue of food and housing insecurity. 7 out of 10 students at two-year colleges and 6 out of 10 students at four-year colleges experience some food or housing insecurity over the course of a single year. Those are pretty staggering numbers. They found that only 20% of food insecure students received SNAP benefits. Only 7% of students who experienced homelessness received any housing assistance. And when we're talking about completion, it's really challenging to try to complete if you're hungry and you don't have a safe place to live. I know this is an issue in Oregon. I just had a roundtable conversation about it. Many of the institutions, Oregon State University, Portland Community College, Portland State University, which is an urban institute, have food pantries on campus. Mr. Ethelbaugh, you work directly, I know, with low-income first-generation students every day. What role does housing and food insecurity, what role does that play in students' lives?
Oh, it plays a huge role. I mean, you just have to look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs. If your basic needs aren't met, including home, shelter, food, you can't progress upwards and think about anything else beyond how you're going to get your next meal or where you're going to live for the night.
Can everybody just tell me, I want you to finish, but can everybody then just tell me, because I want to get another question, what is your campus doing to address these issues, Mr.
And I was just going to mention that at the University of Utah, we have created a homeless student task force. And it's a group of individuals from varying parts of the campus that work together to ensure that we are collectively moving forward with efforts to address some of these concerns. One of the things has come up as a challenge within this group, however, is we're using federal data to determine eligibility for certain types of assistance. For example, if we're going to put someone up in our local hotel for a night or two, we do have to report that as an additional form of financial assistance. So if you have a low-income student that has already met the threshold for their cost of attendance, they basically are going into an over-award situation, which is going to penalize them for getting an additional assistance for what they actually need versus really trying to help.
Thank you for pointing that out. Dr. Edinger, what is your campus doing about food insecurity and homelessness?
We've established a single stop office, which is an emergency office where all students can come, so they know when to come. Food pantries, mobile food pantries, food cards, a whole range of emergency services. It's probably about, I would say, $500,000 worth of investment every year. And we're working on the possibility of pushing policy to align policy of SNAP, Pell, and all of the major pieces that really need to fit together.
Dr. Rudd, I'm going to run out of time. Dr. Rudd.
Yeah, we have a food pantry as well. We also have raised some private support to support homeless students. We have a limited number of homeless individuals, and then we've worked with our new dining provider to have them carve off a program and create a program to address food insecurity as a part of the dining contract that we have.
Dr. Danowski.
I just wanted to say that we generally have a shredded safety net, and that applies to students as well. And what we're left with is colleges having to play the role that social policy programs should play.
Thank you. And I am out of time. I'm going to submit for the record. I really want to follow up on the gaps in degree attainment by race and income, and really looking at targeting interventions at students who are least likely to complete. So I'll submit that for the record.
Thank
I yield back.
you. Thank you, Mr. Muser.